Shift at midnight places you as a low on the totem pole wagey who just got their job at an overnight shift working a gas station. So that means you are stocking shelves, you're cleaning the bathrooms, you're buying traps and guns. It's a gas station simulator. But it isn't. Listen. I'll tell you how it's not. And how it's not a gas station simulator is you have to check the ID of every single person that walks in that store because they could be trying to pull a fast one on you. And what I mean by that is they're skinwalkers, they're doppelgangers, which means if you let them pass, they're going to let their god know, their spider god, the entity, hey, this man's free to eat, so don't let him pass. And if you happen to discover one is a doppelganger, boom! That's all you gotta do. And you gotta clean up the mess, because, you can't just leave guts and blood all over the ground, or else the customers are going to review bomb your store. They're going to be like, dang, dude, this place is dirty. But you get the gist. It's a gas station simulator with some horror aspects. Okay. And your goal in the overarching story is to survive 13 nights. And if you're doing this solo, Godspeed, because it can get mad overwhelming. By the way, I don't know if I mentioned this. This is a game, I believe, directed towards just being a multiplayer, like, friend slop-esque game. I wouldn't call it slop because I'll get into that later. It's a more friend-oriented game. I played it solo. I've played with friends a few times, but I did my whole run solo. There you have it. Which brings me to the next part. My experience, my review, my thoughts and opinions, because you need more of that on the internet. You need more opinions out here. That's how it goes. Anyways, I'm going to start with what I enjoyed about the game. I got to get used to, I'm looking at the screen, watching myself. I need to get used to watching the camera. One of the first concepts of the game, which I probably should have explained when I was talking about what the game's about. You get introduced to an animal. You get to choose an animal. You get to name it. You get to love it. You get to be like, oh, I'm going to choose Goose. I'm going to name him Moose. He's so cute. Boom. He's terminally ill. What are you going to do about it? You don't have money. You're broke as fuck. What are you going to do? Oh, you're going to work at a gas station where you could get murdered every single night by some crazy cryptid? Yeah, that's what you're going to do. Because medical bills do not go unpaid. Unless you want to, be a little POS and let your goose named Moose die. Really cool concept. Maybe I'm overthinking this, but I like that it gives you purpose as soon as you start the game. Hey, you're here to make money to take care of your animal, or else it's done for. It's gone. You can kiss it goodbye. Off to heaven it goes, or whatever you believe. Maybe you believe nothing. Maybe it's the ether. Point is, your animal's gone if you don't pay for these medical bills. Cool concept. Fucked up, but cool concept. Gives you a subtle goal to work for throughout the entirety of the game. And I mean the entirety of the game. Then you hop in to the bus. You head to your first shift at the gas station. You hop out. You walk in. You go check the bulletin board. You see what your douche of a manager, and let me tell you, you get to know him. He's a bit of a he's a crappy manager, to put it nicely. He's a crappy manager. Then it gives you a rundown of how to run the gas station, stock. Then it tells you how to spot a doppelganger. And this is where things get intricate, they get fun, and they get a bit stressful. And it makes you realize you got to pay attention to all the information this game's giving you. You know that newspaper it tells you to check at the beginning of the shift? You think it's just adding a little bit of backstory, a little bit of back context to the overarching aspect of the game? I mean, yeah, it is. But also, it's going to give you information that might help you spot whether one of these humans that walks into the gas station is lying to you or not. They be tricking you. But it gives you the basic rundown of how to spot a doppelganger. I like that. Okay? It's cool. And it makes you think. It makes you go beyond and problem solve. And it's real punishing because if you let these doppelgangers through, now at first maybe it's not that bad. Maybe you just deal with the entity. But then it starts bringing in other creatures, other things for you to do while you're getting blasted by this spider. double, triple, quadruple check this person's identity, their story, who they know. For example, I had a woman walk in talking about her 2 kids. She's buying snacks for her 2 kids. She gives me the 2 names. I let her through. Boom. Says, doppelganger let through. Who was it? I don't know. Then you end the night and it tells you who it was. And I look and I'm like, she seemed legit. What gave her away? Turns out you had to search up her kids on the computer because the names she gave you, those weren't her kids. And that would have been the tail. It's called a tail. See, cool concept. Intricate. It's not like simplistic. Not to mention these customer interactions, some of them are just straight up hilarious, whether they're human or doppelgangers. There's this stoner guy who's actually a doppelganger, and he tells you, he's like, hey, I'm a doppelganger, man, but I'm high as crap, dude. I'm just here to get some snacks. I'm feeling a bit munchy. Turns out he was a doppelganger, but he's one of the few, if not the only one you can let slide through. Because he's just a chill doppy. He's a chill doppy ganger. He just chilling. He just here to smoke some weed. He's just here to eat some snacks. He's not trying to harm anyone. He's not trying to report you to the entity. So he slid through. But yeah, I mean, you get goofy interactions like that. You get a little dancey guy, Esteban. He's just having a good time. You get a drunk dude who's kind of, a drunk dude. I was letting so many through. I actually think I only had one of my 13 nights where I didn't have an entity show up. Insane. I wasn't very good at the game at first. And checking for doppelgangers does not stop there. They add more mechanics on how you can check them and more ways doppelgangers can fool you, which is pretty cool. Just like the state of New Jersey, you got to fill their gas tank for them. You got to go out there and fill their gas tank. That's when I was like, oh, dang, dude, this is getting stressful. I went out there, started, searching the plate. Are you drinking, ma'am? Doing that type of thing, making sure they're not a doppelganger. And you gotta check the car too, because sometimes you'll pop that hood open and there's no engine. What's up with that? It's a doppelganger. That's what's up with it. Make sure not to let it through. Blast that thing into oblivion. That type of deal. And then it adds other things like people trying to steal from your store and you got to go stop them. All of this is happening in tandem at the same time. You got someone, you got to go pump gas. You got to go check this person out. You got to stock the shelves. It sprinkles in new mechanics to keep it fresh. That way you're not getting bored. It's adding more challenges here and there, subtle challenges. There's random events. You'll have a gnome drive a motorcycle through your store in the middle of the shift. You're busy as hell, and homie's just ripping it inside the store. Things like that. Then you get to the final couple nights, and if you happen to be like me, not make enough money to pay for the inevitable surgery for your terminally ill animal, you get a phone call from a random something, and they tell you, hey, tell the local town sheriff to come in tomorrow night, and I'll pay for your animal's medical bills, and I'll make sure they stay alive. Then it gives you the option. Do I call the town sheriff in? Because he's likely getting murked. I mean, why else would we set this guy up to come in the store, right? Or do we say no and give that doppelganger one of these? Well, I chose to sacrifice the sheriff. Listen, medical bills ain't cheap. I'm sorry. I had to do it, man. I had to do it. My goose was dying. So the sheriff comes in. The doppelganger serial killer comes out as he's walking out. That type of deal. And then this doppelganger, by the way, it's got about 10 foot on you, right? He comes in, he's like, what's up? And he's just standing there being a weirdo. What do? Do I shoot him? So you shoot him, you're in dream world. I wouldn't say dream world. You're in nightmare world, okay? And this is what really sold the game to me. They introduced a parkour level. I mean, who doesn't love a parkour level? It was a little too short for my liking. It could have been more, but it was fun nevertheless. So overall, those are all the things I like the game for. There's a few things that I could sit here and complain about, but they're a bit nitpicky. I'm gonna get into them anyways. That's the review, right? My only issues, honestly, playing solo, it gets mad overwhelming. I mean, it throws so much at you, and I don't think it's the game's fault. It's just a game designed with 2 to 3 people playing in mind. But I'm glad they give you the option to even play solo. You know, I'll take the difficulty as opposed to not even having an option of playing solo, you know? Another small gripe I had was they introduced these weird they had antlers, their faces were messed up. I don't think they were human. They introduced those creatures, okay? And at the beginning of the game, your first few shifts, it's off in the woods and it gets closer every single night. And then after a couple of nights, it's in the fenced area with your dumpster. And you're like, oh, dude, is this thing about to attack me? Nah, he's just here to give you some gold. Pretty cool. You know, what's your ulterior motive? Are you going to try and eat me later? No. Down the road, the next time this thing shows up, or multiple of them, you got to go out in the woods and clean up body parts, and they're kind of like freaking you out there. And then after that, you have to go out to the woods and help them raise their deity or whatever person they worship from the dead. And then they're like, all right, cool, you're nice, thank you. Thank you for doing that. And then that's it. That's the last you hear of them. I don't hate it. I think it could have been expanded upon further. Maybe they will in a future update. I have no clue. I mean, those were my only 2 gripes, honestly. I mean, overall, though, banger game. $10 or less if you happen to get it on sale. You can't go wrong with that. I mean, that's why AAA games are cooked right now. I mean, you get a horror game like this for $10 that you could put countless hours into, because when you do beat the game, you unlock an endless mode, and then you can essentially treat it as a gas station simulator where you upgrade your gas station on top of the fact that, hey, you know, you gotta kill some creatures at the end of the shift. I mean, it's a cool concept. $10 is not bad at all. Here is the final say. Are we gaming? Or are we gooning? So here's the final verdict. Are we gaming? 90% chance I'm gaming. Listen, this game kind of got me into this whole, you know, PS2 era graphics. I don't want to call it slop because this game specifically was not, but you know what I mean. This type of horror game is typically fun slop. You know, it's usually bad, but it's fun enough, it's entertaining enough to enjoy it. This was just all around a good game. But it's gotten me into that genre of games, because prior to this, I'd never really have played games like that other than Slenderman when I was in 7th grade. 90% chance I'm gaming. If I was to like give the game a score, I'd give it an 85 out of 100. Okay, and that's going off no criteria, no basis. Like I said, this is a new format that I'm trying out, so we'll see from here. If you enjoyed, please thumbs up that video. Please subscribe. I already know what game I'm playing next. If you want to watch me play these games, please check out my Twitch, Mr. Mort at twitch.tv. I know it's a mouthful, but I'd appreciate you to check it out. Come slide through, comment below, you know, be interactive in chat. I love interacting with you guys. I've been away from my channel for a while. I just recently got into it. I've been having some technical difficulties with my hardware. But now we're good. We're good. We're great. We're better than ever. So please stay tuned for more. Bomb Rush Cyberpunk is next on the list.